Hi guys, and welcome back to Chengi's World, people. You know it's on and pop it up in here. Guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, you are absolutely 100% welcome. Join me by subscribing and pressing the little bell and joining this family, because you know I've always got it going on up in here in Chengi's World. Okay, and also see me on Instagram and Facebook. People, let's get this party moving and constantly have something to talk about. So what am I talking about today? I wanted to do a video on the Vanisher returns, almost like a part 2, because I love that video. It just went super viral, and I remember waking up one morning. I had sort of recorded a few videos and I was feeling like this YouTube thing is not working for me. I think I had like 2 views or 10 views on my channel, something ridiculous, for like 6 months, and I had been sort of, then I was new, and recording videos was such hard work for me because I was still sort of new. And I recorded this video and I was having just a bit of fun with you guys, and I was like, just one of those people just called me back. I was just in a really playful mood, and I had no idea how much it would really touch your pulse. And that's the thing about being a YouTube creator. You have no idea how much which video is going to really is going to touch people's or capture people's attention. But I wanted to just do a video to talk about some of the comments on there. And the general consensus on that channel is, if you ghost me, if you vanish, stay vanished. And for a long time I was that girl. I was like, yep, if you can be bothered to ghost me, then you can just bugger off. You can just go. Don't ever come back. And if you come back, I'm gonna ignore you. And yes, I have ignored plenty of guys who've come back after the whole ghosting scenario. I have just blanked them like laters. Okay. And there are multiple reasons I've done that. And so it's easy for us when we've been ghosted one too many times. And again, like in the last video, I recorded pain, and I believe I forget the name of it, where I was talking about rejection, that everybody gets rejected. He's just not that into you. When we are unwilling to accept that rejection is all part of the success process, that it's, what ends up happening is every time somebody rejects us in a way that we didn't want to be rejected. So I don't think there's a nice way of getting rejected. I think there are people who think there are, but I just don't think there's a nice way of getting rejected, and it just hurts, and that's just how it is. And so the reality of it is that, the Vanisher, when somebody leaves you and they ghost you, that leaves such a horrible place and space in your heart that you just feel dark for such a long time. Especially when you realize what's going on, you feel really, really dark. And as a result of that, you create rules, and those rules, they're things in life that can happen to us that are hurtful, and in order to protect ourselves from ever feeling that bad, we create rules. And I want to talk about the difference between rules and principles. Rules are rigid, hard things that cannot be moved, that blanket sweep every situation in the same way. And unfortunately, when you have rules, are important for children. They're important for those who lack wisdom. Rules are like laws. The reason laws exist is because not everybody is sensible. Not everyone's going to drive at the right speed limit. So laws are a way of controlling everybody. However, the truth is, there are people that don't need laws because they're wise in the administration of life. They know what speeds make sense on the road, on this road. They're responsible. They're wired differently. But for the sake of the little 16-year-old just got his license, we're gonna put rules. Or for the 80-year-old guy going through a midlife crisis, we're gonna put laws on the road to manage traffic and to manage behavior. Now, rules tend to be useful for children. They cannot make decisions for themselves, so they need a set of rules and that are just rigid. You can never cross the road on your own, because if you do that, you will just die. It's not true, because we know that it's not the road that will kill them. It is the fact that they're not able to make the right judgment. So you give them rules because you know their judgment is not at a certain place. Now, we're grown women, right? We should hopefully not need to live by rules, because we have something called judgment, we have something called discernment, and above all, we have that God-given instinct. When we know there's something wrong, we can't put our finger on it, but there's something wrong, and that instinct is something that should and will guide us. The reason I've got a problem with rules when it comes to dating is that we sometimes feel as though if things don't go by a certain kind of rule, then it's going to be bad for me. And the problem is you can be hemorrhaging and overlooking potentially wonderful relationships, but because you've blanket swept every single man who's ever ghosted you under the same umbrella. And so you might be losing out, because rules have the other side of the coin is that there's a lot of forfeit. Now, principles are really what I wanted to talk about, and what I believe that I share on this channel is principles. And principles are like leather. They're not hard, but they're tough. They can maneuver, they can see. And as you grow in wisdom, this becomes very, very important. And I always pray that, and I always say to him, pray for wisdom, because wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom and insight into situations. So principally, I don't tend to give men who vanish on me a second chance, because on principle they've violated the first thing that we all need in a relationship, which is a foundation called trust. So if you vanish on me, then what you've taken away is trust. I can never trust you to be the one thing that I need my man to be. And I think I've done a video on the kind of men that I respect. That, I think it's the video what men really want in a relationship, and in that video I talk about the man that I can respect. And one of those qualities, a man that's consistent, a man that is reliable, dependable, that's absolutely 100% essential and necessary to be my man. So once you vanish, you let me already know that you don't have that quality. However, there is a little note there, in that in the principle, I would always take every situation on a case-by-case basis, girls. You have to look at the situation, and you need to ask yourself the following questions. Were there promises made? Now, I want to give you a scenario where you meet a guy and you are talking for a while on the phone, you go on a few dates, and he sort of just disappears. Now, we need to understand that unless a commitment has been made, nobody owes anybody anything, because just as he can just disappear, so can you. You can just fall off the grid and decide, I'm just not interested. But there were no promises made between the two of you. You didn't promise to be together forever. You didn't promise to be each other's girlfriend and boyfriend. What were the promises that were made? If there were no promises made and he disappeared off the grid, then he can come back and think to himself, this is a woman I can't get out of my mind, and let me go try it again. So, that's a scenario where you might need to rethink that. Maybe life has changed for you and changed for him, and maybe timing wasn't right, the chemistry wasn't right at that point. But you can't say you ghosted me and as a rule, you just disappear, don't ever come back, whatever, get lost. You have to look at how things ended. You have to look at what happened. Now, if this guy came to you and you were in a courtship phase or getting serious, or he'd made promises to you, or he had said things to you, and he ghosted you, having committed to you in some way, shape or form, then you have every right to never speak to him again. I went on dates with a guy once who he was like, if it doesn't work with you, then I don't think it'll work with anybody else, because I just adore you. I just think you're the greatest. I just think da. And, he was just all over, and we had a great day, da. And the guy just disappeared, right? And then, of course, he came back and says what he says to me: hi, it's been a long time. Now, here's the thing. I had another scenario with a guy, same sort of thing, but he never told me that I was the only one who didn't work with me, blah, blah, blah. We were just talking, we were just dating, we were having conversation, and he never put it out there like, you're the one and I'm really into you. And, you know, it was always like, yeah, you're sexy, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're an amazing woman. But he didn't bring on the oh my God, if I don't have you, I'm just gonna die thing. And then, you know, we had a conversation and he basically vanished. And I didn't chase him because I felt like, well, he doesn't owe me anything. He didn't try and sleep with me. He didn't try. He was just exploring. And so I didn't chase him. And like I always say in my videos, girls, never chase a guy. Let him keep on moving. Okay, if a man ghosts you, the only and best thing that you can do is let him go. Look, the coaches out there will say, send him this text or blah, blah, blah. No. Let him go. Just let that boy go, right? But when he came back, here's the difference between him and the other guy who was like, hi, long time. He said he came back and he didn't give me any BS. He was straight up. He said, Chengi, I'm so sorry I vanished on you. The reason for it is because as I started to speak to you, I realized what an incredible woman you are and how great you are. And to be honest, I realized that you needed a decent guy, a guy who was going to look after you, take care of you. And I was really just looking to get laid. And when I got to know you, I knew you were just too amazing. And you and your son deserve so much more. But unfortunately, I thought I could just walk away and go about my business and find somebody to shag, but I just can't seem to get you off my mind. You're somebody that I really just wanted to explore something with, so will you let me take you out to dinner? And I found that to be such a mature, he didn't come with a hi. What's that about? Like, you know, he was mature enough to say, look, this is what I wanted, this is what I came expecting. And for me, I wouldn't blank both of them. So the guy who was like, hi, it's been a long time, I was just like, yeah, I think it needs to stay that way. Bye. And the other guy who came with his story, with his genuine reasons and explanations, I gave him a chance, and we are still friends till today. We dated, we had a lovely connection. But his job, you know, he's a bodyguard for, you know, for the rich and the rich and the famous, and his schedules and his lifestyle just did not work for me and for my own dynamic. And we remain friends now. I mean, we're not bosom buddies, but I can call him at any time and we can chat on the phone, and the same thing here. And I made a great friend, and I will never ever regret that scenario. And I'm glad that I gave him a second chance, right? And another guy who did the same thing, and he came back and said, look, I'm really sorry I vanished. He didn't give an explanation, but he said that I was a fool. It was really foolish of me to just bugger off and disappear like that, and it was unacceptable behavior, but I would like to take you out for dinner. You see, you can't. I had to give that guy a chance. And yes, I did give him a chance, and it turned out to have been, we had a lovely dating, you know, relationship. We got on like a house on fire. It was a valuable time, but it ended up ending quite badly. But that's not because I gave him a second chance. That's just because relationships sometimes don't always end the way that you would want them to end. But again, that guy taught me so much, and they much of who I am today, and much of the wisdom that I share with you guys came from that experience with that gentleman. So I can't say that when the Vanisher returns, just plain tell him, just bugger off, you know. There needs to be a more mature, more considered, case by case basis that you guys need to have. So when the Vanisher returns, like I said in that earlier video, determine whether or not the return was sound. Determine whether you think, you know, yeah, he came to me as a grown man taking ownership of his situation, and therefore I'm prepared to give him a go. Or actually, that was quite messy what you did there, and I'm just not interested, and the way you've come back is a bit off. So what I'm saying to you girls is have that life is not black and white. It's not rules, you know. It's about principles that govern you. It's about feeling dishonored and somebody honorably trying to re-engage with you. And just because somebody's trying to re-engage with you doesn't mean that even if they'd gone off to other women, then maybe you are the woman they couldn't forget. You are the woman that just stuck out. And for that reason, at that point in their lives, it didn't work. So there are many reasons to have an open heart and an open mind and a more holistic view on how you deal with the vanisher returning. If you're not interested, you're not interested. And for those women who, you know, in the scenarios I've given you with the guys who came to me like grown men, then you use the tactics and the wisdom that I gave you in the first video to iron out these principles and to iron out certain behavior. Then you have that conversation with him. But understanding the nature of the relationship, sometimes you just haven't been ghosted. Sometimes it's just the natural progression of things. But I just wanted to just give that back, because a lot of feedback on that video about don't take him back, he'll hurt you, don't take him back, oh no, I haven't got time for that, you know. And I love it. I love the confidence, I love the sass of all of you ladies, but I don't want you to lose out on love because you are living with rules, laws, rather than living off principles and dealing with everything on a case-by-case basis, which is what I recommend you do. I hope this video was helpful, guys. I know I'm going over my 15 minutes, but I just feel like there's some topics that are so important that I don't want to scheme over them. I really want to talk to you guys about it. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, like and comment and share these videos. And then see me guys on Instagram and Facebook, Chengi's World. Love you guys. Take care of yourself. Bye bye now.